y'all.
Yes.
Welcome to Ladies Night. I'm quitting. And it's I'm tired. I'm Eshia.
It's Ladies Night. What? It must be Lexi on the mic.
Welcome back. Season 2.
In this house.
What is Tan talking about?
We just started.
I had just got an alert from Amazon said my package was delivered, so I had to
Oh
get
my goodness, sis. We on the air.
Hi Tan. Welcome back. Season 2. I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice because I'm sick of being on set on time and we're never ready.
Just leave it right there on the table. I'll get it.
This is it's unprofessional to me and I'm quitting. This is my 2 week notice.
If the producers don't put that record back.
Y'all and the producers.
Oh. Tay, you talking about? I say, Tay, are you talking to us? Tay, are you talking to us?
No, she not. She on a call. See, this is what I'm saying. We ain't ready. Season 2 not happening.
Season 2 is
you not ready for season 2, sis.
Yeah, we about to drop you off.
He knows he get calls in the morning. They gonna say we gonna do it.
Look at her. She's
This is ridiculous.
multitasking. Okay.
What y'all been up to?
Oh, y'all. Tell me why. This morning when I woke up, it was a baby outside wandering around. And the police was out there. And they came in our building, knocking on everybody's door, trying to figure out what house the child belongs to. And so me, being the person that I am,
Nosy.
to investigate. I really think I should change my career path because medical billing is not really my passion. My passion is being
nosy.
Go ahead, Pearl.
I think I need to be.
It's gonna be Lexi with the 411. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to, because Lexi loves to investigate. So like I could be like, Alexis, did you see XYZ? She'd be like, yeah, girl, but I don't know what happened. 30 minutes later, this is what happened. So we're gonna put it on the website. It's gonna be called Lexi with the 411. And if anybody got tea that they can direct us to, they can put it on the site and then you can report it. But it's gonna be completely anonymous. It's gonna have like drop downs where you can like choose if it's an Instagram post or a Facebook post, and you can put the person handle, social media handle, so Alexis can go and look for it or whatever she need to do so that she can find the information. And it's gonna be completely anonymous. So y'all, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Click the link in the bio and
with all the mess, y'all.
Lexi,
the mess.
Lexi with the 411. Hi, Hope.
I'm recording. Sis.
So this is how virtual working is for most of us. Like, we're still quarantined. I feel like we've been around each other long enough that we can actually record on set, but you know, whatever the producers say. All right, Ty, what's going on with you? Oh, Lexus, you ain't finished telling us about the little boy.
It wasn't nothing else. They didn't find, so apparently he didn't live in our complex. And while I was on the balcony being nosy, I heard one of the ambulance people say that they had just got a report over the radio about a missing kid. So then that's when I saw the police wrap everything up. The ambulance looked like they was headed to PG. And I don't know where the police officers were going, but I can only assume they were reporting to the residents where the missing child was, which was totally not in our complex. So I'm still trying to figure out how this maybe 3 to 4 year old little boy ended up all the way over here, which is crazy.
Did you take any pictures?
I did.
Look.
Of course I did.
So that's going to be, we're going to post that today. Lexi with the 411.
How was he dressed?
no shoes. I really couldn't tell if he had on pants. Well, I know he didn't have on pants, but I couldn't tell if he had on shorts or pull-up or anything because it looked like the ambulance had wrapped a blanket around his bottom half, but his feet were dangling out. And he didn't have on any socks or shoes and a long sleeve shirt, no jacket.
Oh my gosh.
That is terrible.
Just don't come in and talk about that's terrible. Where you been at?
I'm in a meeting with the producers.
So you had to meet with the exact. Oh, okay. But yeah, that was wild, and I just like how, and I know that no one's a perfect parent, and things do happen. But for him to be in a whole complex that he does not live in, that's wild. That means he had to travel sometime. And then they just got the call reporting that the child was missing. So how long has he been outside?
So he didn't even live there?
Oh,
We already established that. You got to go back and listen to the podcast.
You're going to have to listen to the show, sis, and then you'll catch up.
Yeah, because you just came on set.
Oh, see, y'all trying to play me. Okay.
No, he didn't live in a complex. They ended up getting a call. Look, she went back on mute. I'll be a boo low. You getting fired from your own job. We getting this.
I was on mute because I didn't want to. Y'all know what? Y'all showing up today.
Welcome to season 2. It's all about shade. This season can be called Shade.
Shade and shenanigans.
There we go.
Shade, shenanigans, and boo.
Throwing the shade.
All right, we definitely throwing shade at whoever parent, the parents, whoever's child that was, because that's pretty fucking dumb. Now you're probably gonna be going. I don't even know if the kid is gonna be able to be going home or going to CPS.
Because if they put him in the ambulance, most likely he's going to the hospital. Because if they were going to take him to the parents, they would have put him in the cop car. So if they put him in the ambulance, he's going to the hospital. They're going to examine him, and they're going to call CPS. So the parents is probably going to have to go through drastic measures in order to get him back. Mm-hmm.
They should. I'm sorry, but I know, like I said, I know we're not perfect parents, but I do believe, freak things that happen, but that's too much time for this kid to travel to a whole different area from where he is. For somebody to call and report that, and then for all of this to be happening.
But the kid, I feel like at that age, for one, if you're in the house sleep, why isn't your house secured? It's no way that this little boy should have been able to get out the house. I know he's not unlocking top locks and maybe the bottom lock, okay. But what about the top lock? What about a chain? What about an alarm system? It's no way.
We also have to think open-minded too. We don't know what happened where that kid was. It could have been anything going on. They could have went over there to a dang on homicide and the door was open. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true too.
We
look at the bigger picture.
We can only assume what we seen happen, but then we also got to look at the bigger picture. Now that situation like that, of course, that's more understandable. But for him to just be getting out the house and y'all in their sleep or something, no, that's enough for me.
And I wonder, at that age, I feel like he should be able to point you in the right direction.
Identify, the area that he lives in or something like that. When they asked him, does he live around here, he should have been able to easily identify that. No. These are my.
Right. Exactly.
I had and before we can turn into the complex off the main street, he's like, I don't want to go home, because he already know that, you know what I'm saying, when he memorized, I'm sorry, where,
So, and it could have been, that's another case, if he has some type of cognitive issues, or cognitive related issues, that could have been a reason why he walked out too.
That makes it worse for him to be able to, because if he has those type of issues, then he needs to be 24,
under heavy supervision. Yeah, I mean, because you have adults with cognitive disabilities and they, walk off and get lost. So, I mean, things happen. So I just pray that the little boy is safe and his home environment is safe and that he's able to be safely returned to his parents at this point. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever experienced like going somewhere and losing one of your kids like in a store? Like I remember
not my child.
Girl, when we were in the grocery store and it was done and I was looking at vegetables and I told them to stand right there. And then when I turned back around to the cart, both of them were gone. So first of all, this is my first ever like panic attack, first ever like I didn't know where they were. So now I'm freaking out and Johnny like calling their names loud, going down aisles. And by the time I found them, they was walking down the chip aisle holding hands. And it was a moment where I was like, don't y'all ever do that. And they were just looking at me pig-eyed like, dang, we was just going to look at the chips, but they really didn't understand what was going on. But from that moment on, they saw the spirit in my face. I ain't never have to worry about them wandering off. And so,
I had that happen to me recently.
Me too.
Like, not my child. My child never walked off. But Janelle, my goddaughter, she was here at my house, and I had left Janaya here with Janelle's sister. And me and my cousins, we went to get crabs. So she was asleep in the car. So my cousin was like, well, I'm going to carry her. So as we got in the car, as we was walking in the store, I was like, she woke, you could put her down. She was like, no, she fine. So as we walking through the store, she was like, I want to get down. So we over there, we look at the crabs and she was standing by my cousin. So my cousin, the other people that was with us, well, not with us, but the other people that was picking out crabs, they had a little girl with them too. So the man said, she's 3 years old, and at 3, I was terrified of crabs, and my goddaughter was 3 at the time. So I'm like, where is she? Girl, I looked down, she's not there. So I looked at my cousin, I was like, where's Janelle? Girl, we all just split up. My heart was, I didn't even tell her mother I took her to the store or nothing because she was in my supervision. So like, it was just crazy. So we all just split up looking for her. So I'm walking towards the front, and we was in an international grocery store. So like, the people in there like halfway speak English. So the man was just pointing like pointing to the front. And I was like, little girl. He was like pointing to the front of the store. So I walked to the front of the store. The cashier is pointing like over there. I get to the front of the store, girl. My child would have been bawling in tears, like bawling. The little girl swinging around in the chair. She looking at the security cameras and the police just standing there. So I'm like, Janelle, what are you doing? She was like, I was looking for ice cream. No, you cannot walk away from auntie like that. I tried to make it like, sir, this is not my child. My child don't do this. So he was like, you could get locked up. I'm like, I didn't mean for her. She walked off from me. So I had a conversation with her, like, you can't walk off, from auntie like that. And so when we was in line, so happened we was right at the spot where my cousin said she wanted to get down. It was the ice cream machine right there. So the whole time she was looking for ice cream.
So let me tell y'all about my brief experience. And mine was similar, but it was very similar. So I'm in Walmart. As y'all know, I have four kids. So my oldest was he was able to walk, and then my second oldest was able to walk. He was about 2 or 3 at the time. I think it was 3. So I had the 2 little ones in the cart. So my two that's beside me, the 3-year-old and my 6-year-old, they standing beside me, and I got my back kind of turned to them, but I'm looking at stuff on the shelf. So next thing you know, I turn around and my 3-year-old is gone, right? So I see a shadow running. This was like an adult shadow running. So I'm pushing the cart, trying to drag my other child, pushing this cart, running through the store, yelling his name. I see the workers. I'm like, I can't find my son. I see somebody running with him. Can y'all help me? I'm just like so ecstatic, so upset. And next thing you know, jumps out my cousin with my child in his hand. I went off. I went off.
Are you serious?
My cousin had walked in the store and seen us in there and grabbed. I went off. He was like, Tad, calm down. I went off because I knew that I seen an adult running from my area. So I'm like, somebody just snatched my child. You know, I'm just going off in the store.
So what you do with the rest of the kids?
I got 3. They was right there with me. Like I had 3 kids. I'm pushing the cart through the store, dragging one by the arm. And I'm just going through the store, going down the aisle, screaming, hollering. And it was just too much. I had to really calm myself down. My heart was racing.
I would have had
it was a lot going through my head at the time. I wanted to drop kick my cousin right there in the store.
I would have had to fight him.
It's not a good feeling at all.
It's not.
Definitely. So like this our situation is like scared of mama situations, and then for this child to be gone for that amount of time is like, I don't know. You just gotta pay attention. And like we said, these situations that we discussed are things that we couldn't really prevent because it was just like a glance off the child and then the child is gone. Yes, absolutely. But then the other situations where the child is like missing for hours, I could not
imagine
me sitting somewhere or.
Has then that recently happened in your family?
Yes. So I couldn't, and even with that situation, my heart is pounded.
Right.
And I stay a whole nother city, so it's like I'm here, and there's nothing I can do but share a post on.
Right.
But to actually like. For it to be like your own child, I cannot imagine. Like they would be probably like, man, you gotta calm down. Like I wouldn't be able to, cause it's like a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. It's like when being a mom in general is a lot of pressure, and then the pressure of not being able to find one of your kids.
You see that look she gave him? She went all the way off.
So I just wanted to ask y'all a quick question. I know it's kind of like in the news last week, but it's been a really big case going on. How do y'all feel about the settlement for Breonna Taylor?
I think they took the money. You was out to get justice, not to get paid. If you wanted just paid, you should have got paid after the justice. So they're not going to lock anybody up.
But I'm just trying to understand, like, how do people feel like these millions of dollars is like worth, the person's life, or, even with the situation with, okay, so we got the situation with Breonna Taylor, but then even with the situation here, right here in PG County with the guy, they paid his family $20 million.
But I don't think they actually see it as this life was worth this amount. I think because the police actually killed this person, I think that it was more so like the state is paying you for negligence. Mm-hmm. That's what I honestly think. I don't think that they're saying, well, this happened, here's this money, boom. But I do feel like if you are fighting for justice, I can't say because I'm not in the situation, but if you're fighting for justice, if that's your main goal, then the money should be a settlement after justice has been served, or after this has gone to trial. Like, okay, yeah, can we talk about this? Can we bring this up after the trial? Like.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel about the situation. Like, let's do, let's go to trial first. Let's get that justice. Then, you know, we could talk about the money situation, because then I'll be a little more excited to accept the 12 million because of the situation. Well, I got justice for my child or my wife or whatever. And now, you know, you guys are making sure that you pay me, you know, that you're paying me
to take care of whatever family they. Did Brianna have any children? She was young, right?
I don't think she had any.
I think she had children. But I think that guy did, the guy from here. I want to say he had children.
me.
Did
y'all hear me?
No, you kind of blanked out.
Back to seeing shenanigans, huh?
I mean,
back to the basics. But no, I was saying.
Yes.
I was saying that, you know, once justice was served, it would make me feel a lot better for, you know, getting that.
Better, I think it's not gonna make you feel better, because no amount of money is gonna make you feel better, but it's gonna ease the burden. That's what it's gonna do.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it'll make me feel better to accept the money because justice was served. Like, I don't want to accept that knowing that these police officers are still out here running the streets and could possibly do anything.
20 million, since you still taking it if they give it to you before or after.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely.
But I'm just saying, like,
they bank on. They know you're going to take it before. I don't want that.
But the thing is, they're probably, like we can say all of this, but they're probably putting them in a situation where, like, I'm offering you this now, and that's it. Like, you either accept it or decline it.
And so, that's bullshit.
And we don't know. Like, I'm sure that they're putting that case because, I mean, if someone like dangled 20 million in my face.
Cha-ching.
Yes.
And I'm still going to bat. With my 20 million.
Yeah, because
right, but I'm saying we can't talk negatively about the people who accepted prior to justice.
Yeah, no. At this point, I got that money, so now I'm about to pay me another lawyer, and we're going to press the issue to get them charged with those, you know, with the situation. Like, we're going to press the issue so they can be accountable for.
The officer with the guy, he's charged. He hasn't been convicted, but he is charged behind bars. So, I mean, I feel like their particular situation is a bit different from Breonna Taylor's situation, because as soon as they did like the investigations, they did charge him, they did arrest him. I can't say if he's still arrested, but I know that they arrested him in that moment. And
that's a white cop.
And now it's just like we have to wait for the trial. So what do y'all believe that is it like an easy way of kind of like getting them to like, oh, we gave them the 20 million, so now when it comes to trial, we can do like everything to prevent this officer from going to jail, or do everything is at a minimum because they feel like, you know, we've already paid this family $20 million. That now I get that aspect of it, but I feel like versus Breonna Taylor, like nothing has been done to those officers that shot her. Nothing. Somebody got charged with negligence for shooting in another apartment that nobody got shot in, but nobody got charged with actually.
I think that was the dumbest charge ever, though. Like, we got a whole person that lost a life, and you charging them on shooting in another apartment, and that's irrelevant to the case. Like,
and I've seen this posting. It was like, imagine you being home, you coming home from working a 12-hour shift, and you take your shower and you're laying in the bed with your husband or your significant other, and you hear your door kicked in, and you look to your husband or significant other for security, and they get up, they grab their gun because they don't know what's going on, and they walk towards the door, and you're sitting there on the bed, and they start shooting, your significant other starts shooting because someone has now, broken into your home, and he turns around and you're shot, they shooting back, but he turns around and you're dead, and then find out it was the police. Like, I was just, when I read that, it kind of like touched me, because I'm like, that could happen to anyone.
Why was the police in that particular house?
They were doing drug raids or whatever. No knock drug raids, but they don't have to knock on your door to announce that they're there. They just go into your house and pretty much they search you for drugs and things like that. Of course, they have, I guess, informants who tell them that this stuff is going on in these particular areas or apartments or buildings or whatever, and then they go. But in this particular situation, they went through the wrong, like, it wasn't supposed to be her apartment. It wasn't supposed to be her place that was raided. But then, did y'all hear the releasing? I think it was on Sean King's Instagram, where they have been releasing new details, and it said that one of the officers, when a neighbor asked one of the officers what happened, they was like, "Oh, it was just a drug dealing girl down there. We raided her house," or something like that. It's like, was she a drug dealing girl, or did y'all get it wrong? So it's like,
even with that being said, it's like, I don't know, because I'm not a cop. I always have to just put my disclaimer out there. But wouldn't you think that your intent isn't to go in there and take a life? Your intent is to do your job and protect yourself. So whether she was a drug dealer or a church usher, like, what difference does it make?
Her life was she was a hillman.
Right.
But I was just saying, as soon as you kick down the door, boom, police.
Right.
Would have been, sufficient. Because at this point, they would have been, instead of thinking about grabbing the registered gun that belonged to him to protect his household, it would have been, what's going on? It would have been a more settled situation, to where I'm thinking they would have, he wouldn't have grabbed the gun. He would have been able to say, well, I do have a firearm in the house that is registered to me, and so on. Like, that situation could have went in a whole totally different route if they would have just announced that it was them coming through the door.
And she would still be here.
And first of all, I don't agree with the no knocking. Like, too many situations has happened wrong. Addresses get mistaken. Like, I feel like you, as citizens, we as a party, whatever's going on, you as an officer, detective, or whatever, should knock on the door and announce yourself, because you don't know anybody's living in the arrangement. Y'all could have kicked the door in, and it was only kids in there. Like, what, like, things like that. Why wouldn't you want to announce yourself to let them? I mean, regardless, if you at that door, whether you kicking the door in or whether you announcing yourself at the door, you already at the place to do what you're gonna do. So what more? What's
the harm?
You already there.
But but this is where it all goes to. Like, we need to. That's why it's important for people to get out here and vote, and we need to have people that are politicians that's able to get out here and change these type of things, because that's something that needs to stop. That no knock warrant, come on now, regardless of the situation, like, it should be something put into place to determine whether or not that a situation should go off a no knock warrant. Now, yes, I understand that it's plenty of situations where you want to run in, you want to get people in the middle of the night, but I'm quite sure y'all know what these people movement, what they're doing. If they're out here doing illegal stuff, y'all done already followed them. Y'all know what's going on, so to run up in their house at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes, but at this point, like, y'all not thinking about people that may have kids. They're not thinking about none of that. So I really believe that it all boils down to our judiciary system and putting in certain type of laws and stuff to go forth with this.
I agree.
So make sure y'all get out there and vote.
Do you think that we really can make that change?
I don't think that we can make that change, but I think if we if we had the right people to run for office and put in an office that want to focus on trying to make that change, because you don't really hear too many people that's running trying to change anything about the judiciary system, which is jacked up.
And I think that's a lot of the reason, because they're not voting. These judges, that's the high judges, like those,
The Supreme Court.
They the same ones that, like, it's just in the blood. So they're not going to change the laws because they're for them. So it still have to go through them. Like, even if we vote for the right people, you think it's not people over top of them that has the final say?
Right, but then we need to dig in and figure out how we can change, because I don't feel like these judges should be able to be on the Supreme Court for 30 and 40 years. You got judges who
that's the part
that believe in stuff that's been going on for years and years and years before us. They've been on stand. Even with
the ones that
the one judge, she was still a judge, and she just recently passed away. And I believe that Bill Clinton put her in place of the Supreme Court. So now we have like I think it was like 3 or 4 other judges that are on the Supreme Court now that 45 has put there. And now they're going to be there for more presidents and presidents to come.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the first change starts with like knowledge and education. In the Black community, I think that the political views and politics is not something that we really focus on. I think that it's something that is being brought onto us now as we're growing, and we realize that, you know, in order to get the change that we're looking for, you know, it got to go through politics. But I don't think it, like us growing up, who really, like, did you really have all the knowledge that you supposed to knew in any grade level as far as politics? Like, it wasn't, we touched on it, but like the in-depth of understanding what needs to be done and who, you know, the levels to it and all of that. It's not a big deal. And so,
but that's why I feel like it's important for us.
We got to start with these baby steps. So now it's up to our generation to teach our kids that, you know, all of this stuff counts. All of this stuff matters. Prime example, our president now, like the kids have been experiencing this. So even the kids have gained. We don't ever want anybody else like this controlling our country. So we got to get more in depth, understanding, you know, the proper steps to take as far as politics, so that when it's their time, they know that, voting counts.
It's crazy that the kids are so in tune with it. I had one of my sons, so I watched the debate, and my kids, you know, we watched the debate together. So one of my sons asked me, he was like, "Mom, if Donald Trump is not the president anymore, does that mean that the coronavirus go away?" I'm like,
yeah.
And I
believe it.
I had to explain to him, you know, I had to explain to him about the virus, and I didn't want him to actually feel and think that the coronavirus was all because of, you know, Donald Trump. Not saying that it's not, because we really don't know, but I had to give him the knowledge about the actual coronavirus so he could understand like that it didn't come from him. But it just goes to show like how in tune that the kids are with what's going on now. Like my son, my oldest son, you know, when Obama, the only president that he knew was Obama. And I remember when Obama lost the election. I mean, when not Obama lost it. I remember when Obama, you know, when his term was up, he was so sad. He was like, "So that means Obama's not going to be our president anymore," and stuff. I'm so happy that they got to, you know, as growing up, that they got to experience their black president. You know, they got to experience that, and now it's like, oh, we got him. So, but that's just my little piece. Y'all know I gotta get in there and talk about
these politics.
Yeah, it's always a touchy situation with people, especially people. Everybody got different beliefs on stuff, so talking politics could really cause a major argument, disagreement with people, and that's why a lot of people don't like talking about politics. If a lot of jobs will even tell you like that's a no tolerance, you know, when discussing about politics and stuff. But how is it that we all can get together to make change happen if we don't talk about it, you know?
Because you got to do that on your own time.
Well, not at work. I'm just saying, because work is for work.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to, like, people create groups and nonprofits because that's the thing that they want to touch on. And I think you would be really good at that because politics is just not my thing. And you can go on and on. I'm just saying.
Very
talk about something else.
Very passionate.
You know what? I think that because we have a big war going on with the judicial system and the police and things like that, and you know, the police are all in all tied to the political aspect of life. I think that that's what creates a bigger barrier. You know, because you hear a lot of people walking around saying they not going to vote, it don't matter, they don't listen to us, and you know, things like that. And it's partly because we already fighting with the police over here. So it's like, if we can't get our point across with the police, they tied into all, you know, the whole judicial system, politics, like the whole branch of government, then how are these people over here going to ever listen to what we have to say? How do our vote count? And then I think that those people, we have to like bring them back in to make them believe that.
But how do you reach them in a month?
I mean,
because it's a lot of people saying like, "What's the point of voting?" Like, or I'm not voting for this person or this person because I don't like either one of them. But at the end of the day, it's like you gotta vote for somebody. Which one do you not like the most? Like, you know, like that's what it boils down to. Not just not vote at all, but.
But I think it's more so lies too, because so many people went out there and they voted for Hillary and they wanted her to get in office, and they seen, you know, they went through the whole process and stuff, and then for people to actually see that the popular vote does not count because she won by popular vote.
There's so many people who didn't vote.
But at the end of the day, all of that, no matter how many people vote, and that's why a lot of people feel that way, that it all boils down to those people, those 13 or 14 people or whatever that's in that electoral college, which they say are a group of like the richest people in the world who are in that particular group who they vote. So you got these.
You just need to get in that group, sis. How are we gonna get there?
I need to get in there. I'm trying to figure out.
Now, that's the part.
So I can get in this electoral college. Like how? But my whole thing is like, what can we do as a people to try to disperse of this electoral college? Like, who said that it was that the world and the country, the universe was based on what these people say? You know what I'm saying?
Did y'all watch Scandal?
Money talks.
You watch Scandal? So they can rig all the votes if they wanted to. So, like they were rigging the machines. Like if you select this, then it automatically gonna go to this one. So that this particular person could win this state. Like it's again, I feel like we can't make that change.
Also be rigged up. Did y'all read the article where it was one county in Texas? They only got one box in the whole county to drop off their mail-in ballots. Only one for the whole county. So that's just like having PG County, and they only giving us one box in the whole PG County to go drop off your ballot in. Come on, sis. What that shorty right there is about to be rigged up.
Somebody just was telling me a story about an elderly lady. She got her mail, and you know how you have like junk mail. So she got her mail, and as she was going through it, it was a plain white envelope, and it was addressed to her, but it had Trump's on the bottom, like a Trump campaign advertisement. And she was like, she was gonna toss it to the side, but something told her to open it up. And when she opened it up, it was her ballot. So, like, why are they doing that?
Because when you see the mail, you see
you
Trump,
automatically gonna throw it away. So she would have never received her ballot, and by the time she noticed it probably would have been too late. Just like for the early voting, my aunt, she if something was with her mail, and when she opened it up, both sides, somebody had told her, her walking partner told her, I got my early voting ballot, and when I opened it up, both sides were Spanish. So she was like, check yours. So when she ended up getting hers, both sides of hers were Spanish. So when they reached out to people, they was like, oh yeah, that was a mistake. So we sending out a whole batch of new ones. But it's like, how did you accidentally print both sides in Spanish?
It was an
I'm just trying to figure out, like, I haven't even gotten mine yet, and I've been putting a request for it. Haven't gotten mine.
The mail is delayed also, so
it's
come on, girl.
Rigged. I'm trying to tell you, how can you make that change if they control everything? Y'all don't like talking about this stuff because I want my life. I don't want them to come
wipe you off the face of the earth.
Girl, nobody know.
No,
I be in a black hole somewhere like they did on Scandal. They put that man in that hole in the metal walls.
You watch too much TV.
I know. Right?
That's the problem. Hey, but look, I'm not saying like I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Well, maybe a little bit, but the stuff that they show us on TV, why would they show us if they don't want us to know about it? Because who come up with this stuff if it's not real?
That's what I be trying to say. Like, this stuff comes from somewhere. Like, these things are happening.
Real life.
They are happening. But
it's real. They show
the writer from Scandal, Olivia Pope's life was based on a real life person. So she cleaned up the crimes for the White House. Like, that was a real life thing. So these things happen. Like, that machine can be rigged. Like,
there are real hucks out there, okay? Get it done.
They are. And Area 51 is real. And that's what he was talking about in Scandal. Like, y'all gotta I be telling y'all to get shows to watch. Y'all just don't listen.
I believe in a lot of that stuff that come on TV. I believe in it. Like, I see like that. I believe in it. Look at this, the situation now that we had with the coronavirus, right? Look at all of those movies before that that showed us that. What was that movie? Contagion? That movie?
Yeah, but Outbreak came out in 2011 when that lady in China was at the casino, got on the plane, came over here, and it like spread it. That was 2011.
And
stuff is real. It's real.
So look,
I have two shows that I want y'all to watch. One is on BET and it's called Ruthless. It's really good. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna kind of tell y'all what it's about.
It's about Tyler Perry?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I saw.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think I heard of that.
Oh, y'all, and it's really. Once you watch the first show, you're gonna be like, because I was just.
Hold on, did the lady like? I think I seen the very first episode. The lady, like, she went to this place looking for the man.
Yes. Well, she wasn't supposed. So, okay, her husband is an FBI agent, and he got called on a special case, where in Virginia somewhere where these people are in this cult, but they trying to investigate. Are they doing like kid trafficking? You know, stuff like that. They trying to get the inside scoop. So they asked him, the FBI agent, to come and do, go undercover because they had an undercover agent in there, but he had been brainwashed into the cult. So they sending another FBI agent in there to like save him and then find information. So his wife though is I think she's an ex-Marine or something, but she's a teacher now. And every time her husband get a call, they always have to up and move and stuff like this. So this particular call, she was like, "No, I'm not doing this. I just got settled with my kids." Da 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 da. So then, how to bribe her to move or whatever? He told her about the case and what was going on. He told her that kids could be in danger, knowing that she worked with kids that would help her move. But
is that how she ended up there? No, don't tell me the story. I'm gonna watch it.
No. And she said in order for them to move, she would have to go undercover too to help the kids. He told her no, and sis went anyway. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's really good.
Speaking about that, did y'all hear about? And then we gotta wrap this up, y'all. Did y'all hear about? So on IKEA's website, they were selling. You know, they sell furniture. I think it was IKEA. No, it wasn't IKEA. I'm sorry, IKEA. It's not IKEA. I want to say it was Wayfair. I'm sorry, I don't know who it was, but they sell furniture. They sell furniture, and it was like this long article about it. And like, say for instance, it's this cabinet, right? And the cabinet was named, let's say, Samara 5, and then it'll be like $20,000. But this same cabinet is on your website in another section for $100. So they were saying that they were doing undercover kid trafficking. Like, that's the child name, the age, and then they were shipping that product with the child in it. But like, they never, like, I didn't follow the story, but it was like an article about that. It was crazy. Like, when you click the link in the article, it had like all the furniture, and they all had different names and different numbers. Like, the number would be 5 or 10 or 7, and then they would have a description about the item, and it was crazy. And the items would be like 15,000, 25,000, 30,000, and the same cabinet is over here for $200.
When you see the show, you're gonna be like it's gonna really like blow your mind, especially hearing about that obviously. Oh, it's another show too, y'all. Another one is on Netflix, or something about the social life, and it's pretty much like Google workers, Facebook workers, different workers from different social media stuff, and they pretty much was saying how social media controls our minds, and how eventually, like, if people don't like come away from social media, then it's going to be the death of us. And they were saying how, like, when people, these are like executives of these companies who resign and no longer work with these particular companies, and they said that they never expected social media to be as big as it is. Like, social media now is the world's greatest platform. People don't even look at the news; they can just scroll on Facebook.
I'm one of them people.
I am.
So they said that how powerful they never envisioned it for it to be so powerful that it's controlling not only our minds, the kids' minds, the babies' minds, everybody's minds.
Yes.
And like, it's.
I don't think it controls my mind though.
No, you do, Eshia, because the way you gotta go listen to how they explain it. He's like, you may not be thinking of something a certain way or anything, and then when you go scrolling and you reading this and you reading that, it kind of consumes your mind to think a different way sometimes. And it has happened. You have to just watch the show, and I bet y'all gonna be like, wow, this
what is it called? Let me put that in my notes.
It had something. It had when we get off, I will give y'all the definite answer to it. But I think it's something about social life. It has something to do with social.
Yeah, I think I see that. You said it's on Netflix. I think I see something with that on
It's a series or a movie, like a documentary.
Documentary, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it today.
So those are my things for the week. Y'all check out Ruthless and y'all conversation. I'm trying to tell y'all. This is really good. Tyler Perry is a creative man. Because he can take you to your top and he can bring you down. He can have you thinking outside of the box. Like this situation, this show will have you thinking like so out of the box. It was like, dang, people will live like this. Like, couldn't be me, but people really out here living in these codes like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy part, because it's like, it's so many different lifestyles that you can't even imagine. It's just like, I think it's people really out here like this. And like Ty said, like, this stuff comes from somewhere. Like, like it ain't just pop up in his head.
How would you know? How would you know to write about this? How would you know about a cult?
Somebody told him a story. Like, you get that's how these creators come up with these things. Like, they sit around and they listen to people's lifestyles, and then I guess you are a creator in some sort, because you put your own elaborations in it and your creativity. So, and in that way you're creative, but he heard that from somewhere.
And they're not just getting it from nowhere, because it really, like, it's not like it's just that one movie that you've seen, this one show about cult. Like, it's been multiple movies and stuff about different cults. It's been multiple movies and all of that about all types of stuff. Huh?
Can you get paid?
You said what?
Can you get paid off a cult? Like, if I'm the creator of a cult? No.
So you got
like a secret society.
You can convince some people to give you their money. The churches do it all the time.
Hey, it's about
it's time to log off. Here we go. Here we go. All right, give us some inspiration so we can wrap this up, Ty. Ty said no inspiration today.
Never give up. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward in a positive direction. Life is a battlefield. Keep pushing, ladies. And
yes.
Hey!
So that's take us out, Lex.
Bye.